In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to add data to a site on FBIS. And we're going to add some biotic data to the site that we created in the previous tutorial. But you can also add data to an existing site. For example, if you clicked on a site and had a look at the overview dashboard, you have forms for adding fish data, invertebrate data, algae data, or SAS data directly to an existing site. So coming back to our site that we've just created, again, you can add taxonomic data through the fish form, the invertebrate form, or the algae form, or you can add data for a SAS assessment by clicking on the SAS form. So we're going to add some fish data to this site which we've just created. So I click on Add Fish Data, and it takes me to the fish form. And it allows you to add the date when your sample was collected. And if you're logged in, you'll be auto-populated as the owner. And then some information about the sampling that was undertaken. So in my case, this was collected in a slow deep habitat, broad biotope habitat, and it was a pool specific biotope. The substratum was dominated by cobbles, and the sampling method I used was a seine net. Then you can enter the sampling effort, which can be specified by area or by time. In my case, my sampling effort was measured by time, and I used my seine net for 5 minutes. I did not collect a site image, otherwise I would upload it here. The next step is to enter the biotic data, the taxa that you have data for, and FBIS automatically brings up a list of taxa that have been recorded at sites nearby to the site where you're entering data for. And I can see here that the species that I recorded is indeed here, the Cape Galaxius zebratus. So I'll click Observed. But if you don't see your taxon in this list, you can add it by using Add Taxon. So the next step is to enter the abundance that was recorded. If you did record an abundance, I did, and I caught 3 Cape Galaxius in the seine net. And then the last step is to agree to FBIS's policy of sharing these data on the platform for users to download. So you click Next. It gives you a prompt to say, are you sure you want to submit the fish data? And move on to the next form. And then it takes you to a part of the form where you can add abiotic data associated with that biotic sampling. You can add information on how wide the river was, on the water level, on the turbidity. This is really basic categories here. And the canopy cover at my site was open. I did not record embeddedness, so I'll leave that not specified. Then there's a fairly exhaustive list of physicochemical parameters, and these, for each parameter, you're able to check a box whether or not it was measured and to give a value for that parameter. And scrolling down, you can see that it's a really extensive list here. In my case, I'm just going to add a pH value that I recorded at the site, which was 6.2. So you can add that using the keys here, or you can enter the data manually. 6.2 pH units. And again, it asks you to confirm that you're happy with sharing this data on the FBIS platform. And indeed, I am. The next step is to add the reference category to be associated with this data entry. And in my case, these are unpublished data. So I'll enter unpublished data, and the notes for my site will be FRC monitoring for Galaxius survey. Submit. All right. So you can see my biodiversity records that have been recorded here now, and these are ready to be validated. And if I built up a whole lot of records here, I could filter my records by the species name or the collection date, and I could then update these records by editing them or deleting them as necessary. Here I've loaded the same record twice, so I can in fact delete one of those because I don't want a duplicate. All right, so it brings me back again to my dashboard, and if I'm happy with everything, I click on this icon, which is ready to be validated, and that goes off to be validated. So that's how to add fish data and associated abiotic data using the fish form. And adding data for invertebrates and for algae is a similar process, but adding SAS data is a slightly different workflow.